Trump was booming when Trump was president because stupid niggas was getting money too and the stimulus check came out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you said life was different when Trump was
Life was good when Trump was president, and not only that, it get deeper, bro. Trump was trying to start the sex trafficking. That's why they don't want him to be president. I help kids involved in sex trafficking. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to start the sex trafficking. People don't look. Y'all gotta think deep, bro. Y'all gotta stop being stupid, bro.
Plan International, you know, we help advocate for kids that's been sex trafficked, you know what I'm saying? Also organ harvesting and early childhood marriages, man. Y'all check us out, planusa.org, all right? We got the hat, we got the shirts, you know what I'm saying? This is not a part of the plan, but you know, check us out. Already.
So this is the truth about what really happened at the Trump rally in Atlanta yesterday. That same rally that they told you that couldn't get filled up, that there was barely anyone in attendance when there were 30 to 40,000 people literally standing in line. This is what America has to say, and this is why they're trying to censor the things that we're saying. So you guys stay on the lookout. When you see this video, make sure you save it just in case it gets censored later.
The United States got to represent the country, and they're representing you. They're representing everyone in America. Well, I think you want someone who is strong and courageous to represent the country. That's not to say that he is without flaws. We all have flaws. But on balance, and certainly at the time, it was a choice of, Biden, poor guy, has trouble climbing a flight of stairs. And the other one's fist pumping after getting shot. This is no comparison. I mean, who do you want dealing with some of the toughest people and, other world leaders who are pretty tough themselves? And I'll tell you, like, what are the things that I think are important? I think we want a secure border. We don't have a secure border. We want safe and clean cities. I think we want to reduce the amount of spending that we're, at least slow down the spending. Because we're currently spending at a rate that is bankrupting the country. The interest payments on U.S. debt this year exceeded the entire Defense Department spending. If this continues, all of the federal government taxes will simply be paying the interest. And you keep going down that road, and you end up, in the tragic situation that Argentina had back in the day. Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous places in the world. And hopefully with Milei taking over, he can restore that. But it was an incredible fall from grace for Argentina to go from being one of the most prosperous places in the world to being very far from that.
As you saw from that opening, Elon Musk listed out some of his reasons for why he's voting for Trump. And I want to borrow these reasons as well and try to tie it in because, end of the day, I honestly believe that a lot of Americans who support Kamala Harris in my view, they fall in two camps. They're vote blue no matter who. They're just Democratic loyalists. And then you got one issue voters where the Democrats happen to have the position that they want and they don't care overall if Kamala Harris isn't a good candidate. They care about that's one issue that they're trying to prevent. Either that is government benefits continuing on unobstructed, possibly taxing the rich, something along those lines where it's based on grievance. And I like to highlight a lot of these issues affect all Americans and how it is in the best interest of America to vote for Donald Trump. Now, there's some people out there that say, lesser of two evils, both this. To me, and this might be a strong point that, many people may find controversial. I don't find this controversial. I find it truthful. Is that people who goes with this, it's both sides. I'm tired of choosing between the two lesser evils, are people who don't understand trade-offs. In life, there is no perfect candidate. There is no perfect solutions, only trade-offs. Give me, in your comment section, give me the perfect presidential candidate in your vision, in your view, and I bet you someone's going to reply and tell you all the reasons why that person is not a good candidate. It don't matter who you pick. Someone will still be able to make this argument of the lesser of two evils, right? RFK is running. Why RFK doesn't have higher poll numbers than he does now? So it's a lie. It's pretty much people who don't know how to pick and choose what the practical is. Unpractical people who usually make this argument, in my view. They're more idealist than I am, right? But I digress. I'm done beating that dead horse. I want to focus on this idea that black women. I'm a kind of call out black women here because I've been receiving a lot of negative comments from self-identified black women about how I'm misinformed, how I'm miseducated, and all this nonsense. And I asked them this simple question: how does open borders benefit the black community? It doesn't, objectively, merely because not only because of the fact that black Americans are Americans and open borders threaten the livelihoods. It dilutes government programs for Americans as a whole, but black Americans are more vulnerable for replacement. Remember, replacement theory is white supremacy. No, it's not. If you make replacement theory about race, you're missing the point. You're ignorant. You're misinformed, and you're only pushing left-wing misinformation. The left wing's imagination, because at the end of the day, the white community can afford illegal immigrants to come into it because they're the biggest part of the population. They're 66% of the population. How does 50 million people threaten their population numbers when they're 66% of a 400 million population country? 15 million ain't nothing to that. But what about the black community, who only represents 13% of that? They're more vulnerable for replacement, are they not? And this is how I'm gonna prove my argument that replacement theory isn't based on race. Is you're gonna hear this black lady give a solid argument of how black immigrants are replacing African Americans or people who are descendant of slaves. Let's take a look.
To really get away from racial distinctions and idea of race, because that was something that this whole idea of scientific racism had been so harmful to African Americans, and as it turns out, the scientific community eventually got out of that.
Well, I mean, my ancestors didn't slave and sweat and toil and all that hard work that they did for Joanne Reed to have a job. She's from the Congo. They worked for black Americans to have jobs. They did all that for black Americans, not people from the Congo who are first generation Americans. Not even Kamala Harris, who's Indian American and Jamaican.
Right.
My ancestors didn't work for Kamala Harris to have these benefits. They worked for black Americans to have benefits. I think even Obama is not even a black American. This is why using color, the skin color, is not sufficient.
It's American experience.
It's confusing.
Right.
And this is why I say white Americans and black Americans have been in America the longest since its founding. And that is significant. That matters. That history matters. And so this is why, and I don't know why so many, and I want to get into this issue about black women, black American women supported. I know it's nonprofit, but black American women don't understand most of them, some do, but most of them don't understand. They think everything is about skin color. And that's a superficial analysis of the situation. They're not looking at the history. They don't know the history. And they're just so wedded to the political left position, embracing all of their policies. And their policies have been detrimental to Black America. They need to get away from that embrace of all these policies that are the detriment. So what I'm thinking, they're not doing their homework. They're not reading this cast your bucket where you are. Cast down your bucket where they're not reading this history. They're being superficial. They're just watching the television and going along with what the politicians say. That is not sufficient.
Oof. This is why I say black women need to be called out, because they're 95, not all black women. I'm talking about black liberal women, right? But it just so happens that 95% of black women are liberal women. So if you're the 5% black woman, black conservative that voted Trump voted for Trump twice and about to vote for him again in 2024, I'm not talking about you. Or if you're a black independent that, I voted for Biden, but now I'm voting for Trump, or I changed my mind, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the large portion of these black liberal women that sit here wagging their fingers at people who don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. Immigrant blacks outperformed the native African American population. Ghana, on average, on 2019, now you're going to say it's outdated, but show me 2024's data. Show me the 2021 data. It's still going to be the same. Look at African Americans at 43,000. But white supremacy, right? And then they say, oh, Donald Trump saying immigrants are taking black jobs. And I'm not saying that, black immigrants are taking black jobs. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that this narrative that descendant of slaves love to use, systematic racism, institutional racism, it's a lie. Because if institutional racism was a thing, how are black immigrants averaging more income than you are, African Americans that have been here for generations? If generational wealth mattered, how come you're not on average richer than a black immigrant? Now, I admit openly that I am a descendant of black immigrants. I'm the people they talk about because I see it with my own eyes. Racism can't stop me. It literally can't. In one generation, I changed my whole family's life. My family came here. My mom came here, met my father here in Florida, and they had me. I'm a naturally born citizen, first generation American citizen. Now my family has a second generation with my sons. And the things I'm able to achieve in my life, look, I'm 28 years old. I'm a homeowner. I was a homeowner by 26 years old, right? The amount of privilege my kids are going to have, it will far outsteed mine. And I grew up in the culture. I grew up in the hood in Florida, in Little Haiti. I grew up there. So I know, I seen it firsthand. And the things my mom taught me wasn't the things that I relate to my descendant of slaves friends. One example, my mom taught me, hey, look, you're going to learn proper English. You don't sag your pants. You're Haitian. Haitians are resourceful. Haitians are strong, perseverant, right? These are the ideas my mom put in my head. If I went to my mom and I failed the test and I told her, oh, yeah, it was math. You know, math is racist. She'll slap me. She'll say, you're supposed to be smart, intelligent. My mom had standards for us academically. She ain't take us coming home with A's and B's. She wouldn't take us not learning how to read at a certain age. That's that. If you are an immigrant, if you were raised by immigrants, you know what I'm talking about. There's only 3 choices you had as an immigrant kid. You was either an engineer, doctor, lawyer. That's it. That's the only choices you had. Because they focused us to be practical. And that practicality has followed me throughout my entire life. So when I hear African Americans, people who say they're descendant of slaves and all this stuff, and I'm like, how in one generation that I'm able to do all this stuff, but you who've been here multiple, y'all supposed to have experience in the game in America, right? You're supposed to know this systematic racism like the back of your hand, but for some reason, y'all not have been able to produce better outcomes than people who, on their first try, has been able to be successful in this country more than you. Show me how systematic racism is able to differentiate someone who's been a generation, who's a descendant of slaves from a non-descendant of slaves. Make it make sense to me. All you see is black. If you wouldn't know I was not black, a descendant of slave, if I didn't tell you. So how does a systematic racism know that? I believe as a first generation American, I'm in a better position to objectively judge the impact of racism than someone who says they are ADOS. Because you've been conditioned to believe your race stops you. I've been conditioned not to see that. I was conditioned to see the opportunities in life. And if systematic racism was actually a thing, there should be comparable outcomes between minority groups and Black America, but that's not the case. Some of the most successful people in the United States are minority groups. Sorry, Indian Americans have the highest average income. In my job field, I know a lot of Indians, right? Chinese, Taiwanese, Japanese, these are the main people I'm around. So I see these people. I'm like, yo, I'm in the same circles as these people. See how they move. Oh, the Japanese kids, the moms put them on Kumon. I said, oh, what is that? Oh, yeah, it's a thing that gets them used to learning and how to break down problem solving and all that stuff, and teach them how to teach themselves how to understand topics through repetition. I said, oh, that's interesting. Me and my wife, next day, we decided, okay, let's try out this curriculum. We went to Barnes & Nobles, found the handbooks, find the pamphlets, and then now I'm teaching my kids the same thing, using the same thing. Because I believe what I say on this platform. I say my behaviors decide my outcome, not my skin color. So if I model the behaviors of Asian Americans who are the most academically successful, have the highest average income, right? And I duplicate their systems, their processes, wouldn't it be highly probable that I can reproduce their same results in my family, in my household? But then when I make that same argument to the Black community, I get shunned. Oh, you acting white. You doing this. How you act white? A behavior is a behavior. You save your money, you invest. Oh, that's white behavior. And the left has done this to the Black psyche, that they condition them to link up your behavior with your skin color. to show, oh, I can't help it. I'm black. That's why I can't help but show up to be late. Idiocy. But this is the reality that a lot of black Americans have bought into. But if I criticize black culture, people in black liberals in my comment section will say, I hate black America. I hate black people. These people don't make sense. Right? But then when Trump goes to Georgia, right? Because this is the contrast that I'm trying to put out in front of black America and how both parties see y'all. Republicans see black America as, hey, we're going to try to intellectually advocate for our policies and why black America can benefit from our policies. While the left says, nah, let's just pander to them, aka emotional messaging, emotionally cater to them, entertain them, put Megan Thee Stallion on stage, have her shake her A, and they're gonna vote for us. Oh my God, they got Megan Thee Stallion. I'm gonna vote for Kamala because she put Megan Thee Stallion on the stage. But they quick to call black conservatives tap dancers. But what looked like more of a minstrel show? This is Trump. This is the black women Trump put up, right? Does this right here look like a minstrel show, or what did Kamala Harris just did? Because I'm calling out the black community and their nonsense. Because I'm calling out 88% of the black community. Because this is the issue y'all tolerate. Y'all tolerate racism from white liberals because it's directed at your political rival within the community, black conservatives. I digress. Let's look at this 59-second clip.
But let me also tell you, when I was 12 years old, I had to watch my father come home with shards of glass and blood dripping down his face from 9/11. We were there. I don't want to be there or hear about another terrorist attack on our soil that could be prevented. When you allow 11 million undocumented people to walk across our border, you are allowing an attack to happen. It's common sense. How could you ever fathom allowing someone to even run for office who doesn't want to even enforce our laws, who doesn't think it's important to even visit our border? How is it possible that she makes a joke on the news media saying, why are you asking me about visiting the border? I haven't even gone to places in Europe. Well, newsflash, you're running for President of the United States of America. Take your time and get to learn these 50 states, as many of us have. But let me also tell you.
The contrast is great, huh? Who conservatives put up on stage to message to black people versus who Democrats put on stage to message to black people, right? Who one sees you as a someone that they respect, right? Trump said it in his interview with the black journalists, the associations of black journalists. I respect you guys. I come on time. It's just they didn't get their ish together. That's why we had to come on stage late. One is actually trying to message to y'all, and this is my biggest point, because a lot of black Americans will come in my comment section and say, "Oh, Republicans never came and tried to come to the hood and message to black folks." Because when conservatives do try to message to you, what happened? Y'all shun them, y'all make fun of them, y'all heckle them, y'all don't take them seriously, right? Y'all gonna forget all that stuff I saw, all those videos, all those clips of Candace Owens when she tried to talk to y'all about voting Republican and how y'all jeered her, laughed at her, made fun of her, booed her, mocked her. Conservatives see that. Roland Martin talking about stories about how his wife will look down on a black conservative if she finds out a black man's conservative. Y'all put out all this negative messaging saying that, hey, we're so loyal to the Democratic Party, don't even bother coming to us. That this is a threat to all Americans. I don't understand how someone could support the Democratic Party when they don't have no strong solutions to stop the illegals coming through this border. There's enough illegals that came into this country just in the Biden administration alone to replace the entire populations of some states in the union. Make that make sense. But you want them to pass for citizenship. How is this not extortion? You saw the warning. We can't maintain the spending. You're importing all these people. You can't solve mass poverty, world poverty, with mass immigration. That's impossible. That's a pipe dream. You'll destroy your country before you even make a dent in world poverty. But they keep playing on your kindness. This is what happens when you make political decisions based on emotionalism and not practical reasoning. But I digress. What are your thoughts about Elon Musk's reasons for why he support Donald Trump. Do you agree with them? Do you see some validity in them? If you disagree, let me know in the comment section as well. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.